Hello, and welcome to Gargoyles. Honestly, I'm not sure where to put this topic since it could be a cryptid, but at the same time it could fit in with myth. I have reservations from classifying it as either for various reasons, so I guess it'll just stay as its own topic. Throughout the world, gargoyles can be seen hanging from buildings such as the Notre Dame Cathedral in France, the St. Vitus Cathedral in Prague, and even a more modern interpretation is found in the Chrysler Building in New York. With all these representations, you may wonder what exactly they are and what purpose do they serve. So let's get into this enigma. In doing this, I have to split it into a couple topics since both fit depending on how you look at it. The first form I want to look at is the structural aspect. Gargoyles originally started with the purpose of making rain spouts look decorative, otherwise known as Wasserspeier or water spout in German. These structures took on many forms, which include mythological beasts, people, animals, and in some more modern installations have taken the form to be a bit more tongue-in-cheek. As time grew on, the gargoyles as rain spouts became obsolete, and soon became more just seen as decoration. Many scholars are torn on when the practice of making these structures actually began, but there are reports that Egyptians used them in their architecture, in which they took the form of a lion. The Greeks also used gargoyles as well, and the Temple of Zeus originally had 120 lion heads. It should be noted that in 1724, Parliament passed the London Building Act that made the use of gargoyles as rain spouts in new construction illegal, especially after many of the existing ones had a habit of falling off to the streets below. Many people have questioned their purpose as architecture, especially being located on churches, with many looking like demons. Some view them to be of pagan descent, while others claim they represent sin, and just the terrifying sight of them should make people abstain from unreligious practices. So, is this where our story ends, or is there another symbolism involved? Being a paranormal channel, you know there's more. So let's look into how the name gargoyle supposedly received its name. According to French legend, in the 7th century, a terrible sea dragon emerged from the Seine River, and it was named La Gargouille. This beast looked like a typical dragon, had bat-like wings, a long neck, slender nose, eyes that gleamed like moonstones, and some stories state had flippers instead of legs. There are multiple versions of this tale, with some saying it could breathe fire, but for all the descriptions it seems that those who claim it shot water from its mouth might be more accurate for the tale. Even the name Gargouille means gargler, as in how it used water for destruction. This sea dragon spewed water all over the countryside and caused a great tidal wave that destroyed much of the land and homes. According to legend, whatever wasn't killed by the water, the dragon ate. Saint Romanus, an archbishop of Rouen, decided to travel to the cave of the beast and put a stop to its destruction. The story differs if he took one man with him who was a prisoner condemned to death, or if it was two. Either way, the men reached the cave, and according to lore, Saint Romanus was able to subdue the beast by either drawing or forming the sign of the crucifix with his hands. Very convenient. They led the beast back to town, where it was killed and burned. Some retellings say that the ashes were thrown back into the Seine River. Others state that the neck and head didn't burn, being tempered from the flame breath the dragon could breathe. In this last story, the neck and head were placed on the cathedral as a reminder, as well as it was thought the creature naturally could scare off evil. In the ashes story, gargoyles were put on buildings as rain spouts to remember the water-breathing dragon that plagued the people. Whichever of the stories you go with, it seems that gargouille became the word we know today as gargoyle. As I stated at the beginning, this topic takes a few avenues, and being what the content of this channel normally is, you knew there had to have been a cryptid involved. Throughout the world, there actually have been a handful of gargoyle-like creature sightings. While they are typically uncommon, one of the most famous cases was the one filmed at a playground in Beckenham, England, which I briefly talked about in a previous video. According to lore, and much like the cartoon series on Disney, these creatures are said to guard over buildings from evil entities or even common thieves. They can shed their stone-like outer skin at night, but return to that form during the day. Some of them can fly if they have wings, while those that don't have the ability to fly will crawl up and down the building face and prowl along the streets. It is said they are immortal and are immune to illnesses and resistant to fire. In most descriptions, they can be male or female and can show their true appearance to a human that doesn't believe they are evil. Although it is mentioned that these creatures do have the ability to take human form if they choose to. Oddly enough, some people are quick to defend the creature, claiming they are benevolent and will never harm a human, but others state that they can be both good and evil with their intent. So where did they originally come from? There are 3 theories that are generally agreed upon in the various communities that do believe they exist. Some think they are half angel and half demon, which honestly doesn't make sense since in most all religious texts, demons are angels. The second theory is that they were dragons that had become infected with vampire blood. The last theory is one of the most cliched but obvious answers: aliens. So we have gone over architecture, religion, and cryptids, and this is why I'm unsure where to put this topic. Do you think these creatures could exist, and what is your favorite theory that was presented on how they came to be? With that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Before I go, I would like to mention that I haven't been putting my Audible.com deal after every video since I didn't want to inundate you with ads. In case you didn't know, a few months ago, Audible.com extended a privilege to me that I could offer you a free book of your choosing with a 30-day free trial just by clicking on my personal link in the description. Audible.com has over 180,000 titles to choose from, and they work on most all the devices you probably already have. I'm currently listening to The World's Most Haunted House by William J. Hall, and it goes over the story of the Bridgeport poltergeist in great detail. So if you're interested in this book or any other topic, please feel free to click on my link, and it helps me out and you get a free book out of the deal. One other thing I would like to mention is that a handful of you have messaged me requesting I make a Patreon page, and so I did. I have a few interesting rewards for anyone interested in becoming a Patreon, but that is purely up to you. I will leave the link in my description as well.